Hey guys, welcome to Ram Nation. I'm Chance Cross. In this week's episode, we are focusing on wrestling. But before we get into this episode, I would like to give a big thanks to Relyance Bank for sponsoring this episode.
With a reliable start checking account from Relyance Bank, you'll have peace of mind while allowing your child the freedom to flourish. As young as 13, a Relyance Bank debit card helps lead your child down the right path, providing them with tools to earn, save, and spend, preparing them for their next big adventure. Relyance Bank's Change Up Savings account secures their goals while nurturing their potential. A reliable start checking account from Relyance Bank. Find out how we can assist in growing your child's future at RelyBank.com. Member FDIC.
For our first segment, we had a great talk with Keaton Wasson, and he talked to us about how much of a family his wrestling team is to him.
You can lift people up and like drop them on their neck and stuff. Yeah, that's like legit stuff.
Next, we had Coach Ballard talk to us about the misunderstood things of wrestling.
Wrestler A takes down wrestler B, that's 2. All right, if he takes him straight to his back, that's 2 takedown, but then the ref will start counting what's called back points.
We also had an interesting interview with Coach Burchard and his life and wrestling.
I teach to wrestle in college out in Nebraska. At the time, I was riding bulls in bareback broncs professionally.
Now, I know y'all have been waiting to see the wrestling team highlights. Now, when I think of Keaton Wasson, I think of a state champion, but in this interview, we see the soft side of him.
We sat down with Keaton Wasson, team captain for the wrestling team. There are different varieties of wrestling.
Different styles of wrestling. There's folk style and freestyle. Freestyle is where you can like lock hands and you can lift people up and like drop them on their neck and stuff. Yeah, that's like legit stuff. Like you pick, that's what the Olympics is like. It's freestyle and you pick people up and slam them on the ground, all sorts of stuff, and it's crazy. And then folk style is what we do. And America's the only country that does folk style.
There are many different unique approaches to wrestling.
That's something about wrestling that's very unique. Technique can really outweigh strength in a lot of ways, because I'm not the strongest person in my weight class by any means, but I can beat a lot of people because I have more technique than they do.
Keaton shares a strong bond with his team.
Wrestling is really, it's really been like a second family to me. I know they say that a lot in these like videos and sports videos and stuff, like, oh, it's like a second. Nah, like it's really like it's really important to me, and I really appreciate the people that are involved in the program a lot. And when I've been going through tough times, like with the stress of school, when this whole COVID thing, like I've just been like really breaking down on and stuff, and like Coach Ballard or someone like that would like come and they would talk to me and be like, hey, you'll get through it, and like they really talk to me about it. And I really admire that about them, and I really appreciate them a lot. They're really great coaches.
Wrestling allows you to use your own intro songs.
We do that.
You can do that?
We do that in wrestling, yeah.
What song is yours?
It's Halo, but remixed, like a rock version of Halo. Like the Halo theme song. Not like Halo, like, I can see your Halo. Because every time I tell people, it's like...
So your theme song is like the Halo...
Like the Halo video game, but like a rock remix of it.
That's actually kind of sweet.
Yeah, there's all sorts of other ones. If you come to the matches, like, you can hear all the people's walkout songs. They're pretty cool.
Bro, Keaton, if I had to pick a song for my walkout song, I would pick like AC/DC, Back in Black. Like, come on, man. I don't know anything about wrestling, but WWE, like RKO from Reading, Oregon. With Coach Ballard, he teaches us all about wrestling.
My name is Coach Ballard. I teach 8th grade social studies and 11th grade U.S. history, and I coach wrestling. I think at everybody's first match, they're a little bit confused on how the scoring works from match to match, and maybe how many matches there are supposed to be in a dual meet. Usually that's kind of everybody's first question is, what's going on? You know, what's the score? How does this work? All right, so first of all, both wrestlers are going to start off with what's called the neutral position. All right, once the referee blows a whistle, they're both neutral. They're both standing on their feet. All right, if wrestler A takes down wrestler B, that's 2. All right, if he takes him straight to his back, that's 2 takedown, but then the ref will start counting what's called back points, all right, or near fall points. Okay, if he gets to a 3 count, that is worth 2. If he gets to a 5 count, that is worth 3. If the wrestler's 2 shoulders touch the mat for a period of 2 seconds, then the match is over. It's called a pin. So yeah, there's plenty of other ways to score in a match. You can also hit reversals. You can hit stand-ups and get an escape, which is worth 1. A reversal is worth 2. We've gone over near fall points. There's also penalty points for doing things like locking hands or illegal slams. In a wrestling match, there's going to be 3 periods, all right? 3 2-minute periods. It's going to be 6 minutes, all right? So typically, your wrestling match is going to start off in the neutral position. Once that period is over, the ref is going to flip a coin, all right? On one side is green, and the other side is red, representing home and away, all right? Each wrestler has an ankle band representing which team they are, home or away, all right? If it lands on green, he has an option. Most of the time, kids are going to defer, all right? Defer their choice, and their choices are top, bottom, neutral. Most of the time they defer so that they can have the choice in the third. If you're on bottom, it's called the referee's position. You're on bottom, the guy gets on top, and referee blows the whistle, and that's your starting point, or the vice versa of that if you choose top.
I would never know that all the moves in wrestling would have different point values. Not a lot of people know that Coach Burchard grew up in Texas. You might be surprised at some of the things he's done in his past.
We sat down with one of the loudest coaches at Lakeside and talked to him about his life beforehand.
My first coaching job was at a real small school by the name of River Road High School in Amarillo, Texas. I did wrestle in high school. I finished second in the state of Texas as a junior. Senior year, had some knee injuries and some things along those lines and wasn't able to qualify for the state tournament. But yes, I did wrestle. I started wrestling when I was about 6 or 7 years old. I had some opportunities to wrestle in college out in Nebraska. At the time, I was riding bulls in bareback broncs professionally and was making a lot of money doing that. Didn't have to worry about my weight. 1,800-pound bull doesn't care if I weighed 100 pounds or 200 pounds. He was going to do his job, and it was up to me to do my job. So with that in mind, sometimes I do regret that I didn't compete on the college level with the opportunities that I had, but I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy what I was doing. Had a lot of bumps into things down the road, met a lot of great people, but being a professional bull rider was one of my biggest dreams, and so being able to do some of those things and be able to take care of my family was pretty cool when you're doing it 8 seconds at a time, and I really enjoyed it.
I would have never guessed that he wanted to be a professional bull rider back in his days. On January 19th, we went to the match and saw in our own eyes the wrestling team's performance.
5.
Bro, watching the highlights makes me want to go out there and throw people like that. I hope you had a great time watching this episode of wrestling. Next week, we are going to tackle high school girls basketball. I'm Chance Cross signing off.